the world's largest car manufacturers and a major player in Australia's automotive market is on the brink of collapse.
Nissan is facing severe financial pressure after its longtime partner Renault announced plans to sell off its stake in the company.
Something big is happening in the auto industry, and it's not good news. Nissan, once an industry giant, is now facing its biggest crisis in over a decade. Sales are plummeting, factories are slowing down, and its once loyal customers are jumping ship. Meanwhile, competitors like Tesla, BYD, and Hyundai are racing ahead, leaving Nissan in the dust. So what went wrong? Why is Nissan struggling to keep up in the EV revolution? And most importantly, can it survive, or is this the beginning of the end for one of Japan's most iconic automakers? Today, we're diving deep into the biggest auto crisis of the decade, uncovering the shocking truth behind Nissan's downfall, its desperate attempt at a comeback, and whether this is a temporary setback or a full-blown collapse. Stick around, because this changes everything. If you love deep dives into the auto industry, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. Now let's get into it. Alright, let's kick things off by taking a look at where Nissan stands right now. What's really going on behind the scenes? Nissan has long been a name synonymous with innovation and reliability. Think of iconic models like the GT-R, the Skyline, and the Leaf that once captured the world's imagination. But in recent years, the automaker has faced a series of challenges that have left it reeling. Financial reports reveal a staggering drop in consolidated net revenue by over 79 billion yen, with operating profit margins shrinking to a mere 0.5%. Global sales have tumbled, and once loyal customers are now turning to competitors. In the US, Nissan's market share has fallen from 7.7% to 5.8% over just 5 years, while in China, one of its most crucial markets, sales have declined by 14.3%. These aren't just numbers, they're a red flag signaling deep structural issues within the company.
But now Nissan is on life support. The company may not survive beyond 2025. And who is saying this? Senior executives at Nissan. They say the company can survive up to 12 or 14 months. It needs to find a major investor by then.
But what exactly has led to this downward spiral? Let's take a closer look at the underlying causes. But what exactly has led to this downward spiral? Let's take a closer look at the underlying causes. Several factors have converged to push Nissan into this crisis. First, we have the issue of outdated models. While competitors like Tesla, Hyundai, and emerging Chinese EV brands have reinvented themselves with state-of-the-art vehicles, Nissan's lineup has lagged behind. Iconic models such as the Nissan Leaf and the aging GT-R no longer spark the excitement they once did. This stagnation has hurt Nissan's ability to attract new buyers, particularly in a market that's rapidly evolving towards electrification. Next, consider the rise of Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers. Companies like BYD, NIO, and others have not only flooded the market with affordable high-tech EVs, but have also captured significant market share in regions where Nissan once dominated. For instance, the European market, which used to see Nissan as a solid choice, is now witnessing an influx of Chinese-made EVs that offer cutting-edge technology at a fraction of the price. This intense competition is a massive blow to Nissan's market position. Then there's the failed merger with Honda. Earlier this year, talks between Nissan and Honda hinted at a potential lifeline. A merger could have combined resources, shared technologies, and ultimately saved both companies from their respective challenges. However, when the negotiations fell apart, it not only shattered investor confidence, but also left Nissan exposed and vulnerable in an already competitive market. Finally, we must address the broader economic pressures. Rising inflation, high interest rates, and tightening credit conditions mean fewer consumers are able or willing to invest in a new car. In such a financial climate, even established brands struggle to maintain sales volumes. For Nissan, these economic headwinds have only magnified the impact of its internal challenges. In short, Nissan's crisis is the result of a perfect storm. A once innovative company now grappling with a rapidly changing market and internal missteps that have left it scrambling to keep up.
Now, it's been a tough year for Nissan, talking of the earnings corporate reporting season, beginning with the arrest of the chairman, Carlos Ghosn. That was around a year ago. Things have gotten worse since. The car maker reported a 99% profit plunge in July as
With the issues laid out, let's shift gears and see what Nissan is trying to do about it all. How are they planning to turn things around? Faced with these mounting challenges, Nissan isn't just sitting back. In a bid to salvage its future, the company has unveiled the ARC plan, a bold, multi-phase strategy designed to turn its fortunes around. But will it work? Let's break down the key components of this plan. Let's start with short-term goals until 2026. In their first phase, Nissan is focusing on boosting sales by tailoring strategies to different regions and accelerating its move into the electric vehicle market. The target is ambitious, selling an extra 1 million vehicles per year and increasing profit margins to over 6%. This phase isn't just about increasing numbers on a balance sheet. It's about restoring consumer confidence in a brand that many feel has lost its way. Looking ahead, here's what Nissan is dreaming up for 2030. Nissan is betting big on electrification. The plan calls for the launch of 27 new electrified models by 2030, including 19 fully electric vehicles. With next-generation battery technology at the heart of this strategy, Nissan hopes to catch up with, and eventually surpass, its competitors in the EV space. Alongside these product launches, the company is also exploring new manufacturing techniques and strategic partnerships to streamline production and reduce costs. In addition to these growth strategies, Nissan is also implementing aggressive cost-cutting measures. This includes offering buyouts to salaried workers in the US and reducing its domestic workforce by 6%. These moves, though painful, are seen as necessary to stabilize the company financially and to free up resources for investment in future technologies. There's also hope on the horizon through strategic partnerships. With the failed merger with Honda still fresh in memory, Nissan is reportedly in discussions with other potential partners. A successful alliance could provide the much-needed boost to innovate and stay competitive, although details remain scarce and the outcomes uncertain. In essence, the ARC plan represents Nissan's last-ditch effort to reinvent itself in a world where change is not optional, it's essential for survival. But even with these measures, many are left wondering, is it enough? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, looking ahead, experts see three main scenarios for Nissan's future. First, the successful turnaround. If Nissan's ARC plan succeeds, we could witness one of the most remarkable recoveries in automotive history. By revitalizing its lineup, dominating the EV market, and restoring consumer trust, Nissan might not only stabilize its financial situation, but also re-establish itself as a major player in the global auto industry. Second, a merger or acquisition. If the standalone turnaround proves too challenging, the next possibility is a strategic merger or acquisition. In a market where consolidation is increasingly common, a larger or more agile partner might step in to absorb Nissan's assets, technologies, and market share. This would allow Nissan to survive in a new form, though at the cost of its independence. Third, decline and bankruptcy. The most alarming possibility is that Nissan's financial woes could deepen to the point where bankruptcy becomes inevitable. Continued losses, falling sales, and mounting debts might force Nissan into a downward spiral, potentially ending its legacy as one of Japan's most renowned automakers. Each outcome carries significant implications, not just for Nissan but for the entire automotive industry. The stakes are incredibly high, and the road ahead is fraught with uncertainty. Before we wrap up, let's zoom out a bit. How does Nissan's situation fit into the wider trends shaking up the auto industry today? While Nissan's crisis is a focal point, it's important to note that it isn't occurring in a vacuum. The broader auto industry is undergoing a massive transformation. Many analysts argue that what we're witnessing isn't an outright collapse, but rather a transitional phase. As the market shifts towards electric vehicles, supply chain disruptions, and evolving consumer preferences, traditional automakers everywhere are feeling the pressure. For example, while some companies are reporting record profits even amid these challenges, others are struggling to adapt to a fast-paced, innovation-driven market. The rise of Chinese EV manufacturers, coupled with economic pressures like high interest rates and inflation, is reshaping the competitive landscape. In many ways, Nissan's crisis is a microcosm of a larger industry struggle, one that will determine which players emerge stronger and which ones fade into history. Whether you view this period as a crisis or merely a period of transition, one thing is clear. The auto industry is at a crossroads, and the decisions made today will have far-reaching consequences for decades to come. So, what does the future hold for Nissan? Can it fight its way back to the top, or are we witnessing the slow downfall of a once unstoppable brand? Right now, Nissan is at a crossroads. It's pouring billions into EVs, but is that enough to take on Tesla, BYD, and its old rivals like Toyota? If Nissan doesn't innovate faster, build EVs that people actually want, and fix its identity crisis, it could end up just another forgotten name in automotive history. But what do you think? Is Nissan doomed, or can it turn things around? Let's talk about it in the comments section below. If you found this deep dive interesting, hit that like button. For more hard-hitting stories about the auto industry, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.